Hey y'all, I'm coming in here real quick. Move it out the way because sometimes it distracts me. How y'all doing? I'm gonna give everybody a chance. Well, some of you an opportunity to come on in here. You all may be at your own services, whatever the case may be, in your space. Whatever it is, I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna wait for a second. I'm gonna let you all come through. You know how sometimes you have to let these algorithms pick up stuff like that, right? For people. So I'm just gonna wait for a second. Just gonna wait for a second. I'm not gonna be on here long. Today is a day of conquering territory, is what I'm hearing. The Spirit of the Lord saying to me, conquering territory. I just, conquering territory. Ooh, Lord, thank you, Lord. And it is wherever your feet land, it is yours to possess. Whatever your feet land, it is yours to possess. So I wanted to share something with you while I'm here, and just let people get a chance to come in this space really quickly. Thank you for the Connected Church being here. Thank you for being here. I want to say this. I want to share. I just want to give people a chance to come in. Y'all know this algorithm stuff, however it picks up or whatever the case may be. I am, and when you all see me look like that, when I'm looking, I'm listening to the Spirit of the Lord. I'm listening to Him speak to me on what it is that He wants me to say and how He wants me to say it. That's one thing. I'm not here. When I come here, I am not here for the purpose of fortune, fame. I want you all to know that. I also want you to know that when you see my post, I'm not on here for fortune and fame. They're going to look the way they look because I am a child of the King. I'm a child of a king. You are a child of a king. And I want you to know that today is so prevalent. It's so relevant today. It's so relevant today because in understanding when God is calling us to be conscious in a place like these days, most people are overlooking them because it's just a date, right? But these dates come with their stamps of time. It's a recollection of history, what of being able to have things that are archived in a reflection. So today I went to support my mother and in her speech that she was giving. And I've grown up in this space. And when I got there and she got through speaking, I got there just in time. When she got there speaking, hi there, I don't know who's commenting or if y'all are, but when she got through speaking and this lady comes up and starts singing this song, my spirit was just on high for the Lord, just on high for the Lord in that space. And so getting there, hearing the Spirit of the Lord, I'm going to share something with you. Spirit of the Lord starts speaking to me, starts showing me things. I'm in there, I'm connecting, I got it. And then they have an order. They have a way that certain things are done. They had a program. I wasn't on the program, okay? However, I know the Spirit of the Lord has some things for me that he was impressing upon me to say and speak on. I wasn't on the program. I've got to be in order. And that's the one thing that I found about me, is that I have sat back and wait for order. Whose order? Because the order that we should all be walking in right now is the Spirit of the Lord. Is that the Lord has some things that he wants to say. And I'm telling you, let me tell you how. So I didn't get up. I didn't speak. I wasn't asked to speak or none of that. I didn't move. I didn't beckon to somebody. I didn't do anything. I sat still because I really been wanting to only move when God tells me to move. So sometimes I found myself questioning this earring. I found myself questioning my movement. So I didn't move. I didn't say. I could just feel it. I could just feel it. You know how you could just feel that thing just, some people say, we know how children gyrate. The Spirit was just gyrating all in me. Just, I could feel it. And so I was sitting there and their program went on. The program went on. My name was called, but it was not called to speak. It was called to address my presence and being in that room, that space. I didn't move. I didn't get up. I didn't raise my hand. I didn't say anything. I did not. And I know I clearly heard the Spirit of the Lord tell me today when I left my house that wherever my feet land, it is mine to possess. There's an authority that God has given us to already walk in, that we need to go ahead and step into the room and own the place, the positioning that God has placed us in. And so I am sitting there. It's closing. The end of the session is happening. And this is for somebody. This if it ain't for you, maybe it's just for me to release. Because this is definitely about a release. Because you know what? After this right here, I am getting my breakthroughs. I'm getting my releases. I'm moving on the things of the Lord that the Lord tells me to move on. And I hope that you are encouraged to do the same. I get up to leave at the end. There's this elderly woman that walks up behind me. And let me tell y'all something about that. Because it's like an angel. I don't know if you ever had it. If you ever had it and felt it when the Spirit of the Lord would send somebody from the back in a quiet space. It's almost like they quietly walk up to you and they'll just tap you on the shoulder and say something. The woman turns, an elderly woman, short woman, walks up to me quietly. I didn't even see her in the building. Like, I don't even know where she came from. She walks up to me and she says, "Baby," and grabs my hand. "I was waiting on you to say something." And I looked at her. I said, "Ma'am, I wasn't a speaker." And she says, "But you had something to say." And I looked at her. Now, I know God will move like that. And he will tell people. He will show people. Right? He will. And I'm going to tell you this. She said, "Baby, sometimes you got to let people know that you got something to say. You just got to be obedient to what the Lord is saying to you." And you know what? I realized that oftentimes it's the familiar spirit that keeps us from moving forward in what's new. And how many times we've heard that? I know myself, I've heard it. So today, I'm here to say and put it on notice that I will not be operating in the familiar. And I want to say to you too, to release that familiar. And I also want to say to you that at this particular point, it's about totally being authentically, unapologetically unleashed. Because the time for us to move on what the Lord is saying to us is now. And this is the thing. Let's put some balance to this. We also know that we got to make sure that God is speaking, that we just can't be saying stuff. But we also know that when we know when God has been speaking to us, because he will come and send confirmation. He will come and send someone. And then guess what? You can't shake it. So to whoever this is for, when the Lord speaks to you to say something, say it. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's somebody in that room who's waiting. And the enemy has had enough of running rampant around here, just having us to not speak, because we waiting on what? Yes, God says in decency and order. And the order is his, though. God has an order. Because it is time for people to be set free. It is time for people to be delivered. It is time for people to be healed. We cannot, this order stuff, that's a whole nother message. This order stuff, this order is, that order that we've had, that people have had, has got to be changed, has got to be shifted. And we're looking for something new. Because even your order is causing the things, the flow that needs to come to you, not to come to you, because you're operating through an order. So allow the Holy Ruach to flow, so that the things that God has positioned can actually posture themselves, and the perspective of the people can be shifted in the room. Because one thing I did find out, and I realized through this, is that God is going to release his word. And it also is important, just as important as this. Just as important as it is for the word to be released, it's also important that the people hear that word. You want your people to get what the Lord is bringing in your space. And also honor that. Because just as much as, and I'm going to say this, just as much as I'm waiting and want to make sure that I wasn't out of order, also it is important to make sure that when we have those that are in our presence, we need to see what thus say the Lord. Lord, it's something to be spoken and said. Because we got to get out of this order. This order that we done set for ourselves. Not the order of the flow of the Most High Yah. That is important. And today, I hope this frees you. Because some of us have been bound by tradition. Been bound by that order. Been bound by the way that things are supposed to be. And today we loose that. We break the chains of all of those things that have held us bound and captive. All those things are familiar. The way that it's supposed to be done, that is not how we do it. Those things are broken today. Walk in that. And this right here is an impromptu release of permission. So, today, pay attention to your today. Take it not lightly. Because there's a manifestation that is happening through today, and that you've got to be aware of. You know, the word of the Lord tells us this. He says that his people perish for the lack of knowledge. Knowledge is to know of, right? And knowing is to get understanding. He said, in all thy things get understanding. So when you have things that happen with you, don't just look at it as happenstance. Don't just let it just go and fly by and you give it no thought. Get an understanding about that thing. And so there are times for me I know I'm called to the deep. I'm deep called to the deep. And I can't just unsee a thing. I just can't act like it didn't happen. I have to get an understanding of what it is. And what I saw today is the things that I just addressed, that I want to release to you. And I want to say to you, now, to be unapologetically unleashed. But we have to also know that that comes with the permission of the Holy Ruach, the Most High. You all, that's it. That was just burning on me. And I know I don't do these lives often. And now, I'm going to tell you, now you know why I haven't. But now it's time. It's time. It's time. On so many levels. Because you know what? It's oftentimes we say the social media, we have it, right? But this is not a performance. This is an opportunity for us to speak to people that we don't know, to release the things that the Lord is speaking to us. And hopefully because of this social media process, this social media gathering, this social media network, that it will begin to transfer out to the multitudes of people who need to hear the voice. But y'all, let's get this right. This is not about a performance. My heart is heavy on this one. It is not a performance. These people need to be set free, delivered, and healed. And there are conversations that I realize that I have that need to be spoken abroad to people. Because there are many people who need to hear, because you just don't know what is going to be spoken. And oftentimes the Lord will show me something and tell me something, and I won't say anything. And it takes somebody else to speak it. And then I'll say, he told me that. But I didn't say it. So today was that lesson for me today. That was that lesson for me today. And maybe this is for me. I told y'all I'm not omitting my breakthroughs. This very well may have been just for me. This may have nothing to do with you. But this is about the release from me. Because I asked God to use me. I asked him. And he asked me. And I said yes. So hello. I'm glad that you all could join. That you all are here. And I hope that this message, something within this message resonates with you. But you all, let's not just be coming on here for social media to get information. We've been informed enough. Let's get revelations. We done had enough of information. Let's get some revelations of what the Lord is revealing to us. Lean in a little bit. Because I'm about to. I love you all because we all are children of a king. And in this season, this time, this life that we're in, it's time for us to walk in that like we have never walked in it before. Because something is happening in this world and in it. Anytime that you can see that the trees don't know the seasons that they in. Trees can't even tell the seasons they in. Neither can we definitely can. But go outside, the trees can't tell. This is not by information. This is not by entertainment. This is about revelation. And guess what? He left 99 for one. So if only one person gets what you have to say, say it. And if it's to bring them closer to the things of the Lord, say it. It is to bring unity and not a divide. My heart is full and it's heavy. I'm leaning in and hope today is a day that you don't forget.